Well, seeing as we had a couple violent incidents last week, the shooting on the military base and the police chase of the UPS van somebody stole, um, um, and riddling it with bullets, killing the driver. Um, let's talk gun control. The Constitution of the United States of America states, in no uncertain terms. Well, I've got my Constitution right here. Amendment 2. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That militia was the people, the men of the country. You, me, any other grown adult who wished to bear arms was, according to the Constitution, supposed to be able to get any weapon they wanted. Men had cannons. We mounted cannons on whatever ships we wanted to. The best military equipment of the day was available to the common man and to anyone. That changed in the 1930s with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. And during the same period in which they were usurping control on other things, they usurped control on that. It started way back in 1870s when they signed a treaty saying, oh, we won't have guns on merchant ships. And that was abrogating the Second Amendment, which said that the right of the people to defend the state. Every single American man was a member of the militia and a military man. You, me, everyone. We're all part of the militia. We are the men who will defend the land. When you have a standing, that's why the standing army wasn't needed. It's because if you've got everybody with an arm with top grade weaponry, there's no need. Yes, it takes a couple months to learn how to stand and drill and execute orders to do fancy maneuvers. But even that wasn't really necessary. If you look at the wars that Americans have fought, the best effectiveness of Americans is in skirmish. And you don't really need much to know how to be in skirmish. You just need to know they're over there. They look like this. We look like this. Kill them. And each person knows their own weapon. But gun control saves lives. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. There's gun control on every single military base. There has been for decades. They control every single weapon on that base. And yet this Saudi Arabian national went in and killed multiple people before the MPs could get there. And then they arrested 6 others. Criminals who do things like stealing cars after a robbery don't care about the law. It's only one more felony on the list of felonies they're doing that day. They don't care. So they bring a gun. But your average guy doesn't have a gun. The UPS driver, if he had his packing piece, when the guy came in with his gun, he would have pulled out his and said, I've got one too. You want to get out of my truck? Or do we want to shoot each other? But no, UPS has a policy against their drivers carrying, so no weapon. Um, when shootings occur in a public place with a armed response by the populace, it's unfortunate, but 2 to 3 people die. When shootings occur in a public space with no armed populace, the death toll doubles. Even school shootings. There was a crazy lady in the late 70s, early 80s, something like that. Lori Dan on the North Shore of Chicago, and she went into a school with a gun, ready to shoot people. She was talking crazy stuff, and the principal got his gun and went to confront her and talked with her and said, "Come on, get out of the school. You don't need to be doing this." She tried shooting him. He tried shooting her, and she left. She ended up holding up in a family's house down the way a bit, and I think she ended up getting shot by the police sniper thing. But the principal basically saved the day from a mass shooting there, and risked getting shot doing it. Compare that to Parkland, where the guy just wandered the school. Gonna shoot you now. I'm gonna shoot you. So, and the cops were outside. Oh, I need backup. I need backup. Not, I need send backup. I'm going in, which is what we hope the police would do, right? Brave men in blue. Bullshit. Only the police. Well, the instances of police shooting themselves in the foot or the gonads or wherever else are stacked to the ceiling. You can look them up. Gun control is un-American. Gun control does not help. You know what does help? Armed populace. Fort Lauderdale had serious problems with rape. Because it was known as the party town for spring break. Well, Fort Lauderdale started doing a concealed carry class for women. The police did the class, didn't give the names of the women or the identities in any way, but said, "We're doing this. There's going to be girls out there packing heat. And if you try to rape them, you're going to get shot." Well, it didn't even matter that class was only 30 girls. It stopped the rapists. They didn't want to get shot. They didn't want to risk it. The surest and safest way to stop a crime is to put a bullet in the guy who's trying to do the crime, because then they get really upset about the bullet instead of trying to continue their crime. And if you're really good at it, you put the bullet somewhere where it stops them forever from committing crimes, like Trayvon Martin. So, peace through superior firepower, the motto of the cult, the unofficial motto of the cult company, should be the unofficial motto of the Americans. But it shouldn't be the superior firepower of our military. The military should not be standing the way it is, with millions of men in arms at all times. That is not American. I say, as president, I would make America great for the first time since the 1850s. And I would repudiate the treaty preventing armed ships. I would return the military to the militia, and I would return all military equipment to the militia at state armories, like one up the road. So there we are, peace and joy, and don't let them do this. If you let them steal your guns, you will end up in pain. Goodbye.